Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. This is Business Express with me, Zibby, and you know what it is. It's all about business, the economy, and investment. Would love for you to be a part of the conversation. So let us know what your thoughts are. The WhatsApp number is 08094440981. You can also tweet at Smooth981, and we're streaming live on our YouTube channel as well. So you can catch that live stream on YouTube. It's Smooth 981. That is the channel. And don't forget, you can also subscribe so you don't miss out. You can post a comment on the live stream as well. This morning, we have a guest coming through from ARM Securities. We're talking about the foreign exchange losses of MTN Nigeria and Airtel Nigeria. Our guest this morning is Moyosore Taiwo, research analyst, ARM Securities. Good morning, Taiwo. Do I call you Moyosore or Taiwo?
Yes, Moyo. Moyo.
Moyo. All right,
Yeah.
Moyo, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so MTN Nigeria declared a loss after tax of 392 billion in the first quarter of 2024. What's the primary driver?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me once again. That's an interesting question. In the first quarter of 2024, we saw the Naira depreciate by 32.39% from 899.39 Naira per dollar by the end of December 2023 to 1,330.26 Naira per dollar by the end of March 2024. And for MTN, this meant an FX loss as a result of the depreciation. When you hold foreign liabilities, it means that you're paying more naira per dollar. So it led to the FX loss of 656.37 billion naira, and which was largely comprising of revaluation losses, majorly relating to its foreign liabilities.
All right, thanks for that. Now, Airtel declared an 89 million net loss in full year 2023-2024. Can you tell us about the driver in that case?
Yes. I mean, it's pretty much similar. The driver was the same. I already spoke to the movement of the naira during that period. So, and we know that Airtel operates in about 14 different African countries, but Nigeria is the largest market. So, for their fiscal year ended 31st March 2024, Airtel Africa recorded an 807 million US dollar FX loss, and this was largely relating to their derivative and foreign exchange losses from the devaluation of the naira, which amounted to about 770 million naira in Malawi, the Malawian kwacha, which led to 37 million naira. So it was largely as a result of the Nigerian naira and the depreciation we saw during that period.
FX. All right. Now, as we speak, the naira is approaching around 1,500 to a dollar. Does this mean that the struggle will continue for at least for the telco players in this quarter?
Yes, I mean, I think that's correct because although we have seen feedback from the telecom companies, when they said that they have made efforts to reduce their USD denominated liabilities, I think that the success or the speed at which that will move will depend on the level of liquidity in the market. But as of now, they still hold significant holdings of USD liabilities. However, given the efforts by the Central Bank of Nigeria to improve liquidity and also stabilize naira, we do not expect the volatility, that's the up and downs or the trend we saw in Q1 2024 to be replicated in Q2 2024. And generally, we just expect that the losses that we saw during that period will not be the same in Q2.
All right. So, Moyo, let's talk about diesel. I mean, that is a constant worry for every organization. What will be the impact, or what has been the impact of the cost of diesel, which is quite high, and then, of
Mm.
course, maintaining cell towers?
Yeah. I mean, these are a major operating expense for telcos. But in recent times, we have seen telcos opts for renewable sources of energy in powering their infrastructure. But most of their infrastructure is still powered by diesel. And it will also be important to note that the price of diesel is purely market driven. There are no subsidies whatsoever. And we have seen the diesel prices stay high largely due to geopolitical tensions and the OPEC cuts. So, higher diesel costs rather would ultimately continue to put pressure on the operating expenses of telcos, which then affects their profitability.
You're listening to Business Express on Smooth 98.1. And this morning, we're talking about the foreign exchange losses of MTN Nigeria and Airtel Nigeria as well. Our guest is Moyosore Taiwo, research analyst, ARM Securities. Would love to get your thoughts. So let us know if you have a thought, you've got a question or an opinion, right? The number to call, or I beg your pardon, the number to send your WhatsApp messages to, please don't call, is 0809 444 0981. And you can also tweet at Smooth981 or X at Smooth981. The hashtag is Business Express 981. And we're streaming live on our YouTube channel at Smooth981, so you can catch the live stream and even post a comment on there as well. And if you missed this, it's fine. You can just go back and catch the video shortly when it's convenient for you, of course. But coming back to this, Moyo, telco players want freedom to basically raise their costs, right? Cost reflective tariffs. What will that look for the users?
Well, I mean, we've seen the cost of everything literally skyrocket. I mean, with inflation at about 3%, it would mean that we would have to pay more for telecom services. That's more for data, more for voice, and adding to that is the lower purchasing power we've seen from higher food prices, generally higher you know gas prices, petrol prices, diesel prices. So it just adds to the already sustained elevated costs that we are facing. So it just means that the our purchasing power would be reduced further, and would also mean we would have to tighten our belts, I'd say, a bit more, you know. So I just think
Can we
it
tighten
would
it anymore?
definitely.
Will we breathe at this point?
Yeah, that's I mean that's what's going to have to be, because and I think that's where the consideration from the federal government, or the focus from the federal government, is trying to find the appropriate or delicate balance in raising prices and looking out for the welfare of people.
Do stay with us. This is Business Express. The conversation continues shortly. It's Business Express on Smooth 98.1. It's Zibby here. And this morning, my guest is Moyosore Taiwo, research analyst, ARM Securities. We're talking about the foreign exchange losses of MTN Nigeria and Airtel Nigeria. If you've got a question or a comment, this is the time: 0809 444 0981 via WhatsApp, or you could tweet or X at Smooth 981. Moyo, how important, though, is the telco sector to the rest of Nigeria's economy?
I mean, telcos are very important, and if you look at the latest GDP reports by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, we can see that telecoms or telecommunication contributes about 14% to our GDP. And, just not taking it as a standalone sector, it's also, I would call it an ancillary, sector. It supports other sectors of the economy, such as financial services, agriculture. I mean, everyone makes calls, right? And most people use the internet to And some people even work completely remotely, relying 100% on internet services. So it's so important, and the Nigerian government has also recognized this, and where in 2020 it declared telco infrastructure as critical national infrastructure. That means that telecom towers are basically critical to the smooth operation of the Nigerian society. So they are very important.
All right. So do you think that by any chance we'll see higher tariffs this year?
This is a tricky question. I mean, we saw feedback from Bosun Tijani, that's the minister, who was saying, that telcos should be able to find other ways to support the sector rather than solely higher tariffs. Implicitly just implying that government is unwilling to raise tariffs at this time. However, there has been strong lobbying from telco operators, and given that the as we mentioned, the importance of the sector cannot be overemphasized, and the macroeconomic constraints, it would just require deliberate effort, in finding the balance towards the sustainability of the telecom businesses as well as the welfare of the people. And also, it's also important to note that telcos have not been raising prices, unlike other businesses across the country, where we have seen prices go up vis-a-vis higher inflation numbers. But the impact on a common man also has to be considered. So I generally think that a clear picture would be evident as time goes on.
All right, let's see. Final Luboroko via WhatsApp says, Good morning. These telcos should calm down. They've already increased tariffs by reducing data sizes for same price, and same applies to calls. We no go agree for them to increase tariffs again. All right. Well, that is all the time that we have for Business Express this morning. Thanks for listening. Thanks for your message. And of course, special thanks to you, Moyo, for being on the show with us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That was Moyosore Taiwo, research analyst, ARM Securities. That is it for Business